Every empire, every civilization, no matter how grand or enduring, eventually faces its end. From the sun-baked sands of Mesopotamia to the sprawling metropolises of the modern age, the echoes of fallen giants resonate through history. This fundamental truth begs a profound question. Why? Why do these monumental structures of human endeavor, built with such ambition and sacrifice, ultimately crumble? This exploration aims to provide a comprehensive understanding of societal collapse, delving into the intricate web of factors that can unravel even the most formidable powers. We will dissect the common threads that bind these historical narratives, seeking patterns and insights that transcend time and geography. Our journey will draw compelling parallels between the ancient world and our contemporary existence, revealing that the forces of decline are often eerily familiar. The lessons embedded in these historical collapses are not merely academic curiosities. They are urgent warnings, profound insights into the fragility of human achievement, and critical guides for navigating the complexities of our own era. By understanding the past, we gain a clearer lens through which to view the present, and perhaps to shape a more resilient future. Our investigation into the fall of civilizations will be structured around three pivotal segments. First, we will identify the universal catalysts and systemic vulnerabilities that repeatedly appear in the historical record, acting as harbingers of decline. Following this, we will immerse ourselves in specific, illustrative case studies, examining how these abstract forces manifested in the real-world experiences of once mighty empires. Finally, we will bridge the chasm between past and present, extracting vital lessons from modern society and confronting the uncomfortable question of whether history is destined to repeat itself. One of the most insidious forces undermining civilizations throughout history has been economic instability. A robust economy is the lifeblood of any complex society, funding its infrastructure, military, and social programs. When this foundation begins to crack, the entire edifice becomes vulnerable, leading to widespread discontent and systemic weakness. Inflation, often a silent killer, erodes the purchasing power of currency, making basic necessities unaffordable for the populace. This economic phenomenon can spiral out of control, turning savings into dust and fostering a deep sense of injustice among the common people. When the value of money becomes uncertain, trust in the governing institutions inevitably wanes. Excessive spending, particularly on lavish projects, unproductive wars, or an overextended bureaucracy, can drain a civilization's treasury. Such fiscal irresponsibility often leads to crippling debt, forcing leaders to resort to desperate measures, like debasing currency or imposing crushing taxes. These actions further destabilize the economy and alienate the very citizens whose loyalty is essential for stability. Unsustainable resource management represents another critical economic vulnerability. Civilizations thrive on access to vital resources, whether fertile land, clean water, or essential minerals. Overexploitation, deforestation, or the failure to adapt to changing environmental conditions can deplete these resources, leading to scarcity and economic hardship. This short-sightedness often prioritizes immediate gain over long-term sustainability. Beyond economics, warfare stands as a brutal and undeniable architect of collapse. Conflict, whether internal or external, can tear apart the social fabric and exhaust the material wealth of even the most powerful states. The human cost is immense, but the systemic damage extends far beyond the battlefield. Internal conflicts, such as civil wars, rebellions, or deep-seated social unrest, pit citizens against each other, fracturing national unity. These struggles divert resources, destroy infrastructure, and create a climate of fear and instability that makes effective governance impossible. A house divided, as history repeatedly shows, cannot stand for long. External conflicts, while sometimes unifying a populace against a common enemy, more often prove to be a ruinous drain. Prolonged wars demand vast expenditures of manpower and wealth, diverting resources from productive sectors of the economy. Even victorious campaigns can leave a civilization weakened and vulnerable to new threats. The constant need to fund and maintain a large military for perpetual warfare drains a civilization's resources, both human and material. Soldiers are pulled from farms and workshops, taxes are levied to breaking points, and innovation often stagnates in favor of military technology. This unsustainable burden can hollow out the core of a society. Ultimately, warfare disrupts the social order in profound ways. It displaces populations, destroys communities, and can lead to a breakdown of law and order. The psychological scars of conflict can linger for generations, fostering resentment and making the rebuilding of a cohesive society an arduous, if not impossible, task. Perhaps the most crucial yet often overlooked factor in the decline of civilizations is climate change. Throughout history, shifts in environmental conditions have played a decisive role in shaping human destiny, often acting as a silent, relentless force that pushes societies to their breaking point. Its impact is profound and far-reaching. The impact of droughts, for instance, can be catastrophic for agrarian societies. Prolonged periods without rain lead to crop failures, livestock deaths, and widespread famine. This not only causes immense suffering, but also triggers mass migrations, social unrest, and fierce competition over dwindling resources, destabilizing entire regions. Conversely, the impact of floods can be equally devastating. Excessive rainfall or rising sea levels can destroy agricultural land, inundate settlements, and disrupt vital trade routes. Such events can wipe out years of progress, forcing communities to abandon their homes and livelihoods, leading to societal breakdown and displacement. Both droughts and floods contribute directly to resource scarcity, particularly concerning food and water. When these fundamental necessities become scarce, the delicate balance of society is shattered. Competition intensifies, conflicts erupt, and the ability of governing bodies to provide for their people is severely tested, often leading to their collapse. Climate change, therefore, stands as a crucial, often overlooked factor in the narrative of societal collapse. It is a powerful reminder that human civilizations are not isolated from the natural world, but are deeply intertwined with its rhythms and changes. Ignoring these environmental pressures has proven to be a fatal oversight for many past societies. To truly grasp the dynamics of collapse, we must turn to specific historical examples. The Roman Empire, a civilization that dominated the Western world for centuries, offers a compelling case study in decline, demonstrating how a confluence of factors can erode even the most formidable power. Its fall was not a single event, but a prolonged, complex process. Rome's economic woes were manifold and deeply entrenched. Hyperinflation, fueled by the debasement of coinage and excessive military spending, crippled its economy. Trade routes became insecure, agricultural output declined, and the tax burden on ordinary citizens grew unbearable, leading to widespread poverty and social stratification. Military overreach stretched Rome's resources and manpower to their absolute limits. Maintaining vast borders and fighting numerous wars on multiple fronts became an unsustainable drain. The empire became too large to effectively govern and defend, creating vulnerabilities that external forces were quick to exploit. The barbarian invasions, often portrayed as the primary cause of Rome's fall, were in many ways a symptom of its internal weaknesses. Goths, Vandals, and other groups exploited Rome's economic fragility, military exhaustion, and political instability. These external pressures delivered the final blows to an already crumbling structure. Across the Atlantic, the Mayan civilization presents a different yet equally instructive narrative of decline. This advanced society, renowned for its sophisticated writing, mathematics, and astronomy, experienced a dramatic collapse in its southern lowlands, leaving behind magnificent, abandoned cities. Their story highlights the profound impact of environmental factors. Environmental factors, particularly deforestation and prolonged drought, played a significant role in the Mayan decline. Intensive agriculture, necessary to feed a growing population, led to widespread deforestation, which in turn exacerbated soil erosion and altered local climate patterns. This made the region more susceptible to severe droughts. The resulting resource scarcity, especially of water and arable land, likely led to widespread famine and increased competition among city-states. This environmental stress was compounded by political fragmentation, as rival kingdoms vied for control over dwindling resources. The inability to cooperate in the face of crisis proved fatal. The Soviet Union, a superpower of the 20th century, offers a more recent and stark example of collapse, demonstrating how ideological rigidity and systemic flaws can lead to rapid disintegration. Its sudden demise shocked the world, revealing the inherent vulnerabilities even in seemingly monolithic states. Economic stagnation was a pervasive issue within the Soviet system. Centralized planning stifled innovation, productivity lagged behind Western economies, and a disproportionate amount of resources were funneled into military spending. This created chronic shortages of consumer goods and a declining standard of living for its citizens. Political repression, a hallmark of the Soviet regime, alienated its own people and stifled dissent. The lack of political freedom, combined with widespread corruption and a rigid bureaucracy, eroded public trust and loyalty. When the system began to falter, there was little popular will to defend it. The pressures of the Cold War, particularly the arms race with the United States, placed an immense and unsustainable burden on the Soviet economy. The constant need to match Western military advancements diverted critical resources from civilian sectors, exacerbating economic problems and ultimately contributing to the system's collapse. The echoes of fallen empires are not merely historical footnotes. They are urgent warnings for our present. By applying these historical examples to the contemporary world, we can gain invaluable insights into the vulnerabilities that threaten our own civilizations. The patterns of the past offer a mirror to our potential future. We must consider the vulnerabilities of contemporary civilizations, many of which bear striking resemblances to the challenges faced by ancient societies. The interconnectedness of our global systems means that a crisis in one area can rapidly cascade across the entire world, amplifying risks. Complacency is a luxury we cannot afford. Economic inequality, for instance, is a growing concern in many modern societies. The widening gap between the rich and the poor can lead to social unrest, political polarization, and a breakdown of trust in institutions. History shows that extreme disparities often precede periods of instability and revolution. Climate change, now a global phenomenon, poses an existential threat to modern civilization. Rising sea levels, extreme weather events, and resource depletion are already impacting communities worldwide. Our reliance on fossil fuels and unsustainable consumption patterns are accelerating these changes, demanding immediate and decisive action. Geopolitical tensions fueled by competing ideologies, resource scarcity, and historical grievances continue to simmer and occasionally erupt into conflict. The threat of large-scale warfare, particularly with advanced weaponry, has the potential to devastate global infrastructure and disrupt the delicate balance of international relations. So we are left with a profound and unsettling question: are we repeating history? The forces that brought down Rome, the Maya, and the Soviet Union are not confined to the past. They manifest in new forms, but their underlying mechanisms remain disturbingly familiar. The choices we make today will determine our trajectory. The imperative is clear: we must learn from the past for a sustainable future. Understanding the intricate interplay of economic, social, environmental, and political factors that lead to collapse is not just an academic exercise. It is a vital step towards building more resilient, equitable, and adaptable societies capable of navigating the challenges of the 21st century and beyond.